Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone because they do rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the world, fighting for their salvation. I'm the Prophet Yanazar. I'm with the SOYWY Charleston, South Carolina branch. Coming back at you with another lesson, Lord's willing may be edifying. And the topic of discussion will be concerning Jacob's trouble. And this image that you see, I actually got it from a brother of GMS's page. He had went into the lesson of Jacob's trouble and spoke on being a pilgrimage during these last days. And based on different dreams and visions I've had, I thought it was it'd be a good idea to go into this topic because Jacob's trouble is actually one of my favorite topics to go into through the Spirit. I don't know why, but man's goings are of the Lord. So certain topics really touch home for me. And those are topics I really like to go into. During Jacob's trouble, a lot of all hell's gonna break loose. It's gonna be the worst period on the whole planet Earth since the Earth existed. And but the positive side to that is like these 9 to 5 jobs, the oppression, all that's going out the window. No, excuse me, Salaki. The oppression will only increase and get worse. But when I say it goes out the window, I mean that's Jacob's troubles around the time Yahweh Shem Shai is going to make his grand appearance. And at that point, the curses will forever be lifted off Israel once and for all. And but during Jacob's trouble, if you want to work, buy food, sell food, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to take the MOTB, which is soon to be made mandatory. And like I always say, the cost of living is going up on everything: apartments, cars, clothes, food. But the money we make on these jobs stays the same. So it's all systematic. Esau's trying to collapse the society so he can usher in a whole new system and a whole new currency. And we know during these last days the elect will be protected. So those are all part of that number. We really have nothing to worry about. It's just a matter of keeping the faith and withstanding the pressure. Because whether you're a man of the Lord or not, you are going to get hit with some pressure. Going days without food and water, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from. You're surrounded by people trying to kill each other. Constantly having to watch your back from so-called friends and family. It's going to be a lot coming down the pipe for this place. But, through much tribulation, we shall enter the kingdom of heaven. So, it's a big price to pay. It's actually a small price to pay compared to what we're going to have for all eternity. So it's just a matter of getting over this hump. But like I said, Jacob's trouble is one of my favorite topics to go into. And it's a matter of time. All hell's about to break loose and society's about to collapse. I estimate a few more weeks, months maybe. Now for you scoffers out there and those believers who believe that America's going to continue forever, you're still putting money in your 401k and, you're still invested in Babylon. The joke's on you at this point because when society collapses, a lot of that stuff you're going to lose anyway. So, you on your job, you put in extra hours of overtime. The scriptures say get your daily bread, so you do just enough to get by. Yahweh Shem Shai takes care of our needs. Like he gives us food, water, clothes, shelter. You got the basics to life. But for those of you out there doing too much because you want to have a more comfortable future, the joke's on you because all the hard work you put in to obtain all those things, you're going to end up losing in many ways due to the condition of the economy we live in. And it's also due to the condition of the battle that we're in, the spiritual battle. But let me go and get a couple of precepts and I'll go ahead and close out. But this was just on my spirit. Like I said, another brother, GMS, he did a lesson on Jacob's trouble, and I watch those videos all the time, and I really enjoy touching on that topic because it's the worst period in the history of this planet, but it's also the time where the Messiah himself is going to make his grand return, his second coming. Lord's will, I get to witness that. But like I always say, it's a very exciting time to be living in, especially if you're an Israelite. Now everything's predestined. You don't know if you're a part of the elect or a true third, but the fact is you are still an Israelite by blood, by blood. And who's to say that Yahweh Shemel Shai won't have that grace and mercy and favor on you at the last minute? Because the Lord does say, "I will show mercy to whom I show mercy," roughly paraphrasing. So if He wants to show you mercy, you are an Israelite, so there's a chance you could get on a chariot and receive that salvation. So you never know. But I would hate to be a heathen during these last days. Based on visions I've been having, this Jacob's trouble is going to be really, really bad. But this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, and it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And the he shall be saved out of it is referring to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 male prophets, and the 1/3 men, women, and children, who are the believers and the helpers of the prophets. They will be saved out of Jacob's trouble. They're going to go through Jacob's trouble as a test, as that gold tried in the fire, but the elect is prophesied to win that battle. So, the elect's going to receive that salvation. Jacob's trouble is only a temporary thing. The scriptures say in those days, the Lord will shorten those days for the sake of the elect, roughly paraphrasing. Jacob's trouble is a temporary thing, but, it's still going to be really, really bad. Think of all the horror movies you've seen combined. It's going to be worse in real life because it is real life. It'll really be happening. It's not just a movie. So it's wise we prepare our minds and our spirits for the times coming. That's why it's important you practice fasting and going 24 hours at least without any food or water. That way you practice that discipline and self-control. So when everyone else is out here bugging out because food and water is scarce, you have practiced that level of self-control so you don't have to feed your appetite as much as the next person does. And fasting, if you think about it, is spiritual power in itself because you're going against your human nature, which is the need for food and water. But fasting has a lot of benefits to you. You cleanse out your system, and you become more angel-like, more angelic, because the angels don't need food and water. So it's like for 24 hours, you become more like them. And the Lord loves it when you fast and when you pray to Him, because you're making a sacrifice to Him. This past day of atonement, a lot of brothers all over the world, we fasted for 24 hours. We didn't drink any water, or we didn't eat any food. It was a very inspiring experience. It feels good to fast. I haven't done it in a minute, so this last atonement, it was actually a while since I fasted, so I believe it's really helping a lot. But I'll go ahead and get one more precept. I'm going to close out. As you can see in this background, the image, you see a lot of people. The whole city looks just abandoned, and some of the buildings are burnt up and destroyed. Jacob's trouble is going to be worse than this, but this picture just gives you like somewhat of an insight. Yeah, somewhat of an inside idea what the scenery will be like, and what you should get used to seeing on a regular basis. You're going to have people on the ground, probably drug addicts and things like that. Every day is going to be a fight for your survival, because you never know who's going to try to stab you in the back just so they can take your resources for their own. If you thought it was a dog-eat-dog world now, with all these privileges and conveniences that's around, look how people behave already. Look at Black Friday. When Black Friday comes around, look how people are in Walmart killing each other so they can get that new TV or iPhone or whatever the case may be, that new PlayStation 5 or whatever, things you don't need. When society collapses, how much harder are they going to fight with each other? Because now you have to fight to survive. You need food, you need water, you need medical supplies, things you need just, to make it day by day. A lot of those resources are going to be scarce. So I look forward to being a pilgrim on the earth, because I've pretty much been a pilgrim on the earth all my life anyways, going from different jobs, going from different apartments, having start all over on a regular basis. And I feel like maybe through the Spirit of the Lord has just been preparing my mindset for the times we're coming into. So I'm one of those guys. I like to get the show on the road. The sooner Jacob's trouble begins, the sooner it can get started. We can go through it and get it over with. And boys will enter into the everlasting kingdom if we be a part of that number. Because all that's left in this place is just more pain and suffering. The American dream is now becoming an American nightmare for everybody. And for our people, it's never been a dream, but it's only going to get worse for our people. But for those of us who are in this truth, we have an advantage over everybody because we have Yahweh Shema Shai back. We know their names. We know what we have to do to get on their good side, and things like that. We just pray to be on their good side and to have help with our fleshly desires and sins, things we still need to work on. But yeah, that's lucky for the rambling. But my other precept was going to be this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 40, and it says, let me see, I might want to start a little higher up. Yeah, I guess I'll grab that precept. Okay, it's 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 40, and it says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils," referring to Jacob's trouble, "be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So I don't believe every single brother is going to be a pilgrim because every brother's got their own lot to go through. But I believe a lot of brothers are going to be pilgrims because, like, let's say you're in a particular city, whatever, and that city is now flooded with Russian and Chinese soldiers. Are you going to continue to stay in that city? No, common sense says that you should flee from that city because it's too dangerous. You already know they're going to take you hostage and torture you and your family. So when the UN troops and Russian troops and Chinese troops come over here, it's not going to be a peaceful visit, because America's got a lot of blood in its hands to pay for. So keep that in mind too. So that payback's going to be on a whole nother level. So we don't want no smoke, especially being an Israelite. Our people have no power to oppress anybody. So this war is really between Esau and everybody else. But for those who don't have Yahweh Shem Shai's protection, you're going to get the same treatment as the heathen. And that's going to be a horrible experience. But, that was pretty much the lesson. The Lord's willing, come back and do another one. These are my favorite topics to go into through the Spirit. And I feel like the Lord's giving me a special spirit to where I really cling on to, topics like Jacob's trouble, spiritual powers, our rulership in the kingdom to come. Certain scriptures really hit home for me. And I want to go into Jacob's trouble a little bit more. But that was pretty much the lesson. Lord's will was edifying to the flock. Until next time, I want to say, Call Holoim La Yahweh Bashim Yamashai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.